Hey, welcome back to No Brainer Part 2, our interview with Scott Kidd. Scott, we're talking about yachts, but I want to dive also into your other passion. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
And that would be my family. No.
Do they make you money? Because please show me how, because I need to figure that
No.
out.
No, I mean, that my first passion is my family anyway,
Of
but,
course.
second one, other than the yachts is, real estate. We're, starting a, fund for all of our, development, projects we have in Texas, Kansas City, St. Louis, and it's, we're launching the fund, should be live here pretty soon. Really excited to be working with a group that's been doing development for 30 plus years and phenomenal track record from the Midwest, and the Texas market is, well, it's Texas.
Okay, so are you more into commercial real estate than residential?
Yes, it's 100% commercial real estate.
What is the name of your real estate company?
Mine is Yachty Real Estate Investors, and the development group is CAD Development, and I'm partnered with them through Argenta Capital. I'm mostly work on the capital side. I source capital, debt, and equity. Long term equity partners. You know, and co GPs, other partners, development groups that want to do long term development with us. It's a 10 year plus play for me.
Okay. So you're on the capital side, so you look for people to invest with you in the
Yeah.
real estate. And so what would be a typical project you look at?
Well, the our development projects in Dallas area are pretty. They're all kind of the same, kind of straight down the fairway, kind of vanilla. There we have one that's going on in Waxahachie right now. That's a 98 units under construction and 11,000 square feet of commercial space. The other three are kind of similar. We have one that's ongoing right now. We're looking to close on the land. Well, we are closing on the land the 15th of October. It's set off into three different parcels. So it would be multifamily, townhomes, and the last one is flex space. And that can be a hotel, more townhomes, or more multifamily based on whatever the best use case is. And then the other ones are going to be similarly structured so that you have options. And it's going to be roughly 120 units. And we
Very
like that
cool.
100 to 120, 150 units because the speed of turning over the capital is fast. Because when you're doing 250, 300 units, you're looking at probably 18 months to 2 years where you're carrying, the cost to carry is a lot more. Whereas it- that 100 to 150 units, you're looking at, 6, 9 months really to start pre leasing. And then you can start getting money in the door. And then you're looking at, because all this stuff is built to sell at this point, unless the partners want to keep it and refi. And then the townhomes are easy. They're built like 10 at a time. And you can those are sold in those tranches. And as a couple of them sell, you start building more. So that by the time you get to the end, it's all pretty much paid for itself.
And so once you get the building or the property taken care of, you sell it. You don't guys manage it or turn it over.
Well, we manage it for usually we do a minimum of a year to to get the long term capital gains rather than short term capital gains,
Right.
and then we look to sell. But if the groups that we're involved with think it's a better sell, better thing to hold it for longer, maybe we're looking at refi and pulling cash out and stuff like that. Then we have medical offices in Kansas City, which are all pretty unique as well. They're partnered with a surgical group where they put up 51% of the equity. They
Oh,
pre-lease, and then they also sign on the loan. We bring in the 49% of the rest of the equity, and then those take about a year to build, and then they look to sell after they're stabilized, which is usually again another minimum of a year or so, and then so you're looking at 3 years or more. But they cash flow pretty nicely, so because they're all triple net leases, and once they're built, the leases are engaged and immediately start cash flowing. So then it's all triple net leases and they're easier to manage. So then at that point, you look at probably because there's another reason why we're starting the fund is because potentially we're going to keep some of those in the fund. They continuously cash flow and keep building out the fund. And we also have a hotel project coming online, which could potentially be quite a few more. It's in St. Louis area, along with 200 units and potentially 200 condos. It's with it's going to be a baseball themed Marriott tribute hotel, which will be pretty. It just got released now, so more of the details will be coming. And it'll be the idea being that providing this goes well, there's a potential to build one of these in every baseball city in the U.S. So it'd be up to 30 of these.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, have you, when I lived in Dallas, they were building the Texas Ranger Stadium,
Oh yeah,
which was 94, long, long time ago.
yeah, yeah.
And I remember they built, at the time, it was a TGI Fridays in the stadium.
Oh yeah,
And it was so cool because, or chili, in one of the restaurants, maybe it was
yeah.
Fridays. I don't remember, but you
Or
could
maybe
sit and watch
Papados
the,
or Papas.
yeah,
Or
I don't remember, to be honest with you. It
yeah.
was 30 years ago when I lived there. Um, and they built it and you could, but the coolest thing about the new stadium, now we got to go for free. The company I worked for in Dallas was called D&L Entertainment. We did all the security for all the venues, and so we were the event security for Texas Stadium,
Oh,
the
cool.
Rangers, the Mavericks, the Stars, all the concerts. I was one of the managers, and so they had a section, though, it was like a grassy area that you could buy tickets. Back then, it was like $7 or $9 a ticket or something, and you'd go to the game,
Yeah,
but there's
yeah.
no seats, it was
I
just a
remember.
grassy area.
Yeah, yeah.
But I used to look up in there, I was like, "I wanna go eat at that TGI Fridays and hang out and watch the game up there, that'd be kinda cool."
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
so they're gonna build they're not gonna build a stadium with the hotel attached, they're gonna build
No, this
a
is
hotel
actually
by the stadium.
it's no, no, it's not near the state. It's actually in Chesterfield, which is the really affluent area of St. Louis. But
Okay.
that's where all the high-end people live that go to the ball games and stuff. And, so it's quite a unique, thing happening, and I remember, 'cause I remember when I first, moved back to the States when I was a kid, like, baseball was I remember my mom always talked about baseball and stuff, and I loved playing baseball when I was a kid, it was fun. I was in Houston when Nolan Ryan was there and stuff, and I just remember when he threw that heat, it sounded like a gunshot. I mean, when he
Yeah,
hit that glove, and they were saying I watched the documentary about him where they said his fastest was 104, but they said if they recalibrated the guns by today's standards, he's actually throwing 108 at
that's
40
crazy.
40 something years old, still throwing no
I
hitter.
was a catcher. I was a catcher in baseball.
Oof, man.
I'd have been terrified,
Oh, everyone was.
terrified. So here's funny story, and sorry, guys, if you notice Chris isn't here, he had some tech his everything crashed at his house, he says he has no audio, something's going on, so we'll catch up with Chris next time, sorry. When I was playing, my dad was actually was being bred to be a major league ball player. He played for the farm league in Jersey, the Yankees farm
Okay.
league, and he got drafted into the army for Korea. Never went to Korea, but he got on the army softball team, fast pitch softball,
Wow.
and he was fast pitching and ripped his bicep in half.
Oof,
So he'd make a muscle and it looked like camel hump, you know?
really?
And yeah, and so he lost his eligibility to go play ball. And so he never really lost his mustard. I mean, the ball he could throw, and I'll never forget. He taught me how to catch, and we used to play in the backyard. And he would pitch to me, and he taught me not to be scared, obviously.
Yeah, yeah,
And we're down the Jersey Shore, and they had this booth where you could throw, and it'd show you how fast you throw. Never had an arm. I could hit
yeah.
second base. That was about it.
Yeah, and that's what
I
you
was not
needed to do. Yeah, that's
yeah,
what
I
you
was
had
not
to
a
do.
pitcher. I was not by any means a pitcher. So I got up there and I threw the ball, and I mean, I'm in high school and I'm maybe maybe throwing it like 50, 60 miles an hour or
Yeah,
something, nothing spectacular.
yeah.
My dad gets up and pitches one quick underhand one, 92 miles an hour.
Whew.
And I'm like, "Do you throw the ball at me like that?" He goes, "No, I throw it harder." I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" I'm like, "Oh my gosh,
I
that's
remember
insane."
I
So
remember
he goes, "But are you scared of anybody pitching at you?" And I said, "I'm not, because actually it seems to be slower."
slower, yeah,
So,
I
yeah.
would think so, 'cause I had a friend that he was going to one of the other schools in Austin. There's several there, and I forget which one, but he was throwing almost 90, and he didn't make the team, he knew he wasn't gonna make the team next year. So, I remember being pretty, competitive, Texas baseball. It's like
Well,
90
Texas, everything is competitive. Football,
Yeah,
baseball. I
yeah.
mean, look at Permie Odessa, and back in the day, they were, whew,
Yeah, and
you
then
got in trouble.
yeah, and then the Lady Longhorns, they crushed everything for a long time. I remember they were really good.
The softball team?
Yeah, volleyball and, I think track and stuff too, they were
Yeah,
really good.
I've seen them play softball.
Yeah.
I know they've been in, like, the
Yeah,
world, college World Series or
yeah,
whatever.
and basketball, they were pretty well up there. I remember when I was there in the '90s, they were pretty good. They did, you know.
So you went to UT. What did you graduate with?
I graduated with a Bachelor of Arts. I got a degree in history, and I was planning to go to law school, and I'm really glad I didn't.
Well,
Because
I've been told I should have been a lawyer because I like to debate, but I'm nah, that's
no,
my
I would
friend
have
went.
probably ended up in jail or something, probably for trying to piss somebody off or something like that.
My one of my best friends, she passed away, but she was an attorney, and she was like so relentless. They used to call her like Mosh Pit because she would get in there and go after people, you know?
Yeah, that I would have just probably took the wrong stance against the wrong whatever. Yeah,
Yeah,
just
judge says something, and I'll be like, "What'd you say? Oh, wait, hold
yeah,
on.
yeah.
My bad, Your Honor. Hold on, time out.
Yeah, hold on. Can we roll that back? Oh,
Yeah,
no, we can't. Oh,
no,
I'm
so
getting
I get
arrested?
contempt.
I'm
Alright.
getting arrested again?
Yeah.
Alright. I'm gonna need one
Well,
of
let's
any of
make
you
it for
guys
real.
any of you guys attorneys, I'm gonna need one.
Let's make it for real. I'm just gonna punch the judge now. We're gonna make a legit arrest case here. Yeah, I couldn't imagine, and she was actually one of her proudest moments. She was in court, and she was doing something. I don't remember, arguing a point, and the other attorney's like, "Objection, objection," and the judge was like, "Miss Monock, that's a bit scumbaggy of you. You're being a little scumbag today." And she was like, "I take I wear that with pride now, Your Honor." I was like,
Oh, man.
"I don't know
Yeah,
that I wanna be called a scumbag by the judge, but
yeah, I
whatever."
wouldn't wanna that but I'd thought about, like, maybe international law or something, but then I was like, I didn't really wanna go to school for another 2, 3 years, and I was like, I didn't really see myself loving it, so I was like and I was at that point, I was just like, "Well, I'm gonna have to just keep trying stuff until I figure out what I
I
you
I
know, what
saw
I
the
want."
books, and I was like, "That's ridiculous."
Yeah, and
So,
plus yeah,
did
plus
did ju does your degree, and, we'll dip more into the next segment of the show because 'cause we're gonna take a break here in a minute, but does your degree help you at all with what you do, or have you just been totally self-taught?
it does, because, you have to study and, real estate and any business, you have to keep continually learn and grow, like, it's not that like that song, "School's Out Forever" or whatever, like, you
Yeah,
don't need to learn it because this is where you don't grow, but I learned a lot of good habits there, and I read a lot. I've always I guess my mom was always an avid reader. Both my parents are avid readers and stuff, and I always read a lot when I was in school, so I that kinda carried over, and then, history and stuff, you always kinda track everything and try to figure out why this happened, is that a result of something I did or didn't do kinda
right.
thing, and I always kind of been systematizing things like that just because, like, I wanna not make that mistake again, you know?
Yeah, I mean, when I was gonna go to college, I remember my father telling me, "I'm not paying for you to become one with a keg and a couch," because that's what I would have done. But later on in life, I went when I was a little older, and it was a whole different ball game, and, like, I was, like,
Into
ferociously
it.
studying, and I
Yeah.
was yeah, I loved it, and so anytime I take classes or courses now that really excite me, it's, I get, like, great and, my mom, who was a teacher, my father was a teacher, my wife I'm married to is a teacher, they're like, "Why were you not like this in high school?" And I'm like, "'Cause it was boring."
Yeah,
I wasn't challenged, and I always feel that
same,
I
same.
look back, I had ADHD, I got dyslexia and all those other things. I think they know more about it obviously now, but I think if I had been challenged, maybe I coulda went to college and, gone a
Well,
different route, but then we wouldn't have this show,
I
so who
think,
knows?
just because my kids are in college now, they just both of them are now 19 and 20, and they're both in school. I see that the school system needs to kinda go in a different kinda direction, more in, like, project and group thing, because it's we're still at that industrial aged, where you're built to work at a desk and then go work in a plant or work in a or whatever, an office or whatever. But like we all do group projects. Like we're on a podcast now, we're talking, thinking about stuff. But all the real estate stuff you get on a Zoom or you get in a room, like kind of work through stuff. And that's more real life scenarios. And like had you had something that you were interested in, you probably would have excelled because you would have been into it. And I,
Right.
I found the same thing when I moved from Jamaica to Texas, and I thought that was going to be hard. And I said, I'm going to America. I'm going to have to study. I'm going to have to do this and that. And I didn't do a whole lot.
Did you
'Cause
finish high school in Jamaica or in America?
in the States, and I
Okay.
didn't do a whole lot straight through high school. Of course, I didn't graduate with any kind of stellar honors or anything because most of the time I was just kind of bored. I didn't. There were some things I did like I did like some of the math class. I did like some of the history classes, and I guess that's why I continued doing that. But when I was finally in college, I got the history degree just because I had to said I've been here a little while. I need to probably finish something.
Right. Yeah. Let
'Cause
me get this degree
I
and
was
get in.
probably I was probably there just because I didn't really know what else to do. And then like my old man told me like all my friends that have degrees that borrow money from me. You need to go start a business or go get a job. You go work, go do something with your life. So don't, it's if you don't know what you're doing, it's going to be a waste of time. And he's right, because I didn't,
100.
but I met a lot of people and I had a lot of experience that I would have never had. And it kind of opened up my mindset to a lot of things that were pretty interesting, which led me to do you know, it's everybody's got their own path. It got me to. If I didn't do any of that, I wouldn't have ended up starting the tech business. Wouldn't have got my pilot license. Wouldn't have worked on boats. Wouldn't be in real estate now. Wouldn't have my wife and kids. You know, things would have went in a completely different direction. So
Yeah, no, 100%.
if I would have changed, I wouldn't change anything because
Did you play any sports for, Texas?
no, I did not. I was too busy making poor life choices.
Look, that is the truth.
Well, I mean, I love playing
That's why I be
basketball. I was quite a good athlete. I love playing every sport. I mean,
right.
basketball, soccer were my favorites, and I love playing baseball. And I was the guy that if anybody showed up and wanted to go play tennis or ping pong or basketball or soccer or whatever, if you showed up and said, "Hey, let's go play handball or whatever," I'd be like, all right, let's go. You know, you know.
Excellent, excellent. We're gonna take a quick break here, and then we'll be back with part 3.